What if we all go live on a spaceship and we just have those little bots here collecting our trash and stuff? And then
Yeah, may come to that.
I just watched Wally again. So if you guys are unfamiliar with that movie, you need to go watch that. It's a great little
Just
movie.
because you saw that Segway thing.
Yes, yes. How nuts. Okay, so if you guys, I mean, quick, it's called the Segway Pod. What's it called?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Segway Pod. Ugh.
Can I say real quick though, I am very upset at the company Segway for making everybody think that that's how you spell the word Segway.
Yes. Yes, you can say that.
The grammar Nazi that I am.
Yeah, because there's like a U and an E in there, right? In
I mean,
the
and this makes more sense in terms of spelling, but yeah, it's actually like SCGUE. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I love the little notifications on websites now that say like I don't know if you can see this one here, but it says continue to cite. Those are my options. So it's about cookies and GDPR, which we've never really talked about, but is a big thing, and you guys
Yeah.
have probably heard of it. But data is an important thing. Finally, people are recognizing that. And so on this website, thewired.com, you have two options: continue to cite or do not sell my personal information.
So what happens if you click on that? Can you go to the site?
It gives you this whole big thing, and so it looks. I assume it's Condé Nast. Maybe they own
Yeah.
Wired, apparently. So I can say. So there's literally a this is just so funny. There's literally a button here that says "Sell my personal information." It's like a toggle, on or off. Who's gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm good. Go ahead. Yeah, whatever."
Yeah. Is this a California thing?
No, this is a European thing.
Oh,
Yeah. So GDPR, are you familiar with that General Data Protection Regulation?
ish, a little,
Yeah.
sort
So
of.
so quick. Sorry, just to context for people. Facebook, Cambridge Analytica stuff. All familiar
Yeah.
with that? What happened there? Idea being that user information was harvested by Cambridge Analytica via Facebook ads, and so from that. They put in laws and regulations that said you have to very clearly and very plainly state when someone visits your website, what are you doing? So if you use a cookie, you're putting a cookie on their computer. Is that cookie going to only track what they do on your site, or is that cookie also going to track everywhere else they go on the internet? Also,
Mhm.
do you partner with third parties, which this is called behavioral tracking? It's a trillion-dollar industry that is totally like shadowy behind the scenes in the internet.
Mhm.
Are you partnering with them? So this is how you can go on Amazon and search for a new smart sleeper, and then go to Facebook and see an ad for it.
Yeah.
Well, those two use similar third-party engines to track and do all the data stuff, and they sell it back and forth, and so all that. So they're able to track you that way, but that's what that whole thing is. So that's why you see all these things. That's why you got 1,000 emails that are like, "We updated our privacy policy." Um,
Yeah.
those kind of things. Uh,
So am I like, would I see that over here, or is that a location based thing?
yeah,
I guess I just
everyone.
don't pay attention to those warnings.
And that was one of the things it was supposed to solve. But guess what?
I'm the problem.
No, it's a very tough, impossible thing. No, that's basically. So what happened is this was a European regulation. It doesn't actually. So if you're like a U.S. company and you could somehow limit your web traffic to U.S. only, you would not need this because we
Mhm.
don't have that same law here in the United States. But because basically, the internet is global, everyone that's on the internet has it now, and so that's what
Yeah.
those things are. Um, Ironically, or kind of like, I actually went the other way with my website with Teslanomics.co. I just said, fine, I'm not going to do cookies. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. So I actually ripped out Google Analytics. I ripped out every tracking thing. The only tracking stuff I have is completely anonymized. So I don't know anything about the people visiting my site other
Mhm.
than like what pages they're visiting, how long they're on them, if they're watching videos, whatever. But there's no cookies as soon as you exit the site. That's it. You're gone. I know nothing about you. So I actually went the other way and said, instead of trying to like come up with these wonky privacy things and try to adhere to this standard, forget it. I'm just gonna, because I don't care about that information. I'm not an advertiser. I want you to go watch my videos on YouTube, and that's about it, right? So it's
Mhm.
like, oh, that's the whole deal. So I don't know how many people are doing that, but it's kind of a, you can kind of just opt out as a somebody that owns a website, or you can, spend tons of money trying to retrofit everything and all that. So,
Gotcha.
Segway, Wally chair.
Segway to Segway.
Yeah, this was unveiled at CES. S-Pod, I think it's called. Oh man, it's like a 2-wheel Segway, but it's a chair that you ride in that goes 24 miles per hour, which is absolutely bonkers.
Usain Bolt fast.
Yeah. So there's your dystopian future, reference of, why do we even need to walk? And then furthermore,
it does have a wheel up front.
That's for getting on and off of it.
Oh, okay.
So to get in and out of it, it actually dips forward.
You mean you have to step into it?
Yeah. It doesn't just like lay out like a seat and flatten.
It doesn't
and then
just scoop you up.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty wild. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy to see those things. CES is such a wild show.
I'm gonna have to go someday. Just never had a need to.
It's a funny thing. I so many people I've met in the past week are like, "Oh, how was CES? Oh, it looked like it was so fun." I don't know anyone that works in tech or media that would describe CES as fun. I really don't. Like maybe from the outside it looks that way, and that's the point. But the running around and just pure madness of like trying to get to meetings left and right and try to film one thing and meet up with the friends that you only see once a year. Yeah. It's an absolute marathon. It's I don't know. I wouldn't describe it as fun. It's like a mountain of work is how I would describe it.
I guess VidCon is the only comparison I have to something like that, because it can be
just a zoo, right?
A lot. I mean, like at the end of the day, I'm just kind of sitting there like, I have to decompress now. I've been around 1,000 teenagers, and
what I did on day 2 of CES is I actually put my earbuds in and I put white noise on the whole day. Or not the whole day, but the whole time on the show floor. So all these bells and, lights and things trying to just sensory overload. Just
it's like a carnival midway.
Yes, but like the most insane one, packed with 180,000 people
with stuff flying around.
Yeah, it's wild. I feel like there's probably some like areas that are less crowded, and regardless of what's there, it's probably more fun to go check that out. Because when you go to the ones that are crowded, it's just like, get me out of here. I just can't personally with crowds and stuff. That's why I didn't get footage like the Rivian thing or any of those. I'm like, I walked by, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah. I'm just introverted enough to where it's like, if I go to something like that, I really need a minute to kind of like go off into a corner and be quiet for a second, And it's like when I mentioned Carnival Midway. So the State Fair of Texas, we do here every year, and it's like a big deal. And they've got the big Carnival Midway, and I kind of avoid it like the plague. I mean, the rest of the fair is fine, but the Midway where you're walking down, there's all these people barking at you, and they're like, come play the ring toss game, Yeah. And I'm just like, stop yelling at me. I'm so traumatized right now.
Yeah, I wonder if CES wasn't in Las Vegas, if it would be different. Because that's just Las Vegas in general, right?
Yeah.
Just on a normal day, that's what you just described. That's what it is. Then throw this in, and it's like 1,000 times more crazy and more people yelling and screaming at you type of stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for checking us out, guys. I hope you enjoyed this clip from our podcast.
We do a weekly show here on YouTube, so make sure to subscribe to Our Ludicrous Future, where we discuss all the things that are going to make our future totally ludicrous.
You can join us here on YouTube or at any of your favorite podcast places. Plus, if you want to get some behind-the-scenes stuff and join a cool community, you can help support the channel at patreon.com. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.